Thanks for staying with us. The South African Association of PhDs says it has noted with concern private higher education institutions that are not officially registered with the Department of Higher Education and Training, conferring what's believed to be honorary doctorates. Now, this comes as we've seen a storm around some notable South Africans who have received what they believed to be honorary doctorates for their contributions in various sectors. So how do we begin to guard against this? Let's speak to Dr. Esewu Mxolisi Mathebula, who is the media director for the South African Association of PhDs. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Mathebula. I mean, this is not a new place where we find ourselves right now as a country, especially when you think about some of these honorary PhDs that are being, awarded to certain individuals. But you are saying you have some serious concerns. Tell us more.
Thanks, Bongiwe, and thanks for having us. Good evening. We have a very strong concern because not that we are against the awarding of honorary doctorates to people who really deserve them. We're not against that, but we are against the awarding of honorary doctorates by bogus institutions. And we in this age in time, or in 2024, we still have institutions that are operating in South Africa illegally. How is that possible? And especially this one that we're talking about here, the Trinity International Bible University, that has been operating for quite some time and without even being brought to book. I understand at some point they were reprimanded, but that's not enough because what they are doing is against the law. What we are saying is that they must stop what they are doing, and the Department of Higher Education and Training must take actions, drastic actions against such institutions.
And when it comes into, something that you've raised, especially around bogus institutions, I mean, it's 2024. We're still talking about this. Where are we failing in terms of our checks and balances, in your view?
I think it boils back to the issue of maybe there's no monitoring as far as these issues are concerned, because it seems like one can just start his own institution and operate because there's no monitoring or evaluation of these institutions. Nobody will ever find out that Dr. Mathebula is running a school and the school is operating illegally. So I think that's where the problem is. Hence, we are saying to the Department of Higher Education and Training, they must partner with the Council on Higher Education, Universities South Africa, and the South African Police Services and other law enforcement agencies to uproot such institutions and make sure that the directors of such institutions are brought to book.
Now, one of the things, of course, someone could say, but I just received a phone call telling me that I'm going to be honored for the work that I've done. So I got excited and I told myself that I'm going to just go there because this means another cap for me, especially when it comes to recognition for my contribution in a certain sector. But what should those people who are excited about receiving such a letter or communication then be looking for or even doing in terms of ensuring that they don't find themselves at the receiving end of fake doctorates?
Bongiwe, it's a fact that people are desperate to be called doctors. Whenever they see an opportunity for them to be awarded in a title that says doctor, they just close their eyes, close their ears, and run to that institution. But if you read our media statement, we are saying the Department of Higher Education and Training must at least publish all institutions that are authorized, credible, and recognized by them that has the right and authority to award honorary doctorates on their website, so that it makes it easier for Mathebula, when he's invited to such an event, to first go through and check if that institution is recognized or registered under the department. Then they can go. But our people, we know, they like to be called doctors, but they don't like to put an extra work to earn the qualification. We've worked hard for this qualification, Bongiwe. And we, as an association, we have the responsibility to protect the integrity and the credibility of the qualification, especially the NQF level 10, which is the PhD.
Yeah, and let's talk about something that I also saw, especially which piqued my interest when I was reading your statement. It's very elaborate on this particular issue, but let's keep it short. I mean, some people still get confused between an honorary doctorate and an academic doctoral degree. So let's talk to members of the public about the differences here and the importance distinctions.
Thanks for that question, Bongiwe. A PhD stands for Doctor of Philosophy. It means that person studied and wrote a thesis, which is a result of an extensive research to obtain such a qualification, and it doesn't just come overnight. And an honorary doctorate, it is something that to say we thank you and recognize and appreciate what you've done to the community over the years. So for that, we are going to honor you. That is why, Bongiwe, a person that has got an honorary doctorate cannot say he or she is a doctor, and cannot force people to address him or her as a doctor. Only the institution that has honored that person has the right to address that person as a doctor, because even in their CV, it is not under qualifications, but under achievements.
Quite an interesting one. And I do hope that, when we have more time, we expand a little bit on this one, because some people would insist, even though it's an honorary one, that you must call me a doctor. But as you say on the CV, it needs to go towards achievements, not towards, qualifications. So a very interesting one. And I do hope we circle back to it in the future. But thank you so much for your time. Do appreciate it. That was Dr. Esewu Mxolisi Mathebula, Media Director for the South African Association of PhDs.